Good evening. It's been a few days. A few things have happened. Storms, drones, fires jumping fire lines, fires up in the wilderness with basically nobody doing anything about them because we just do not have the manpower. This is crazy. I saw this meme today, or a picture on Facebook, and it was a roll of toilet paper that looked like a cheese grater. Like, welcome to 2020. Yeah, a lot going on. We were supposed to have a big storm blow over, but it never really materialized into much. We got a little bit of rain last night. A couple of times I could hear the pitter patter on the tin overhang outside. No lightning strikes here. When I checked the lightning map, I didn't. The only ones I did see were up in the Tahoe area. So, and I'm not following that. So sorry if you're here for that. I don't have any information. Been listening to the radio a whole lot today. It's kind of, I don't know, a lot happened today. It was kind of interesting. It was fairly smoky this morning. You could definitely feel it and smell it, but there were far worse places than us by far. What's up, Johnson? Thanks for joining. Today wasn't too bad, but listening to the radio, I kept hearing them say that scratchy, barely audible. So I hope these guys, I haven't heard anything, but I hope they're not losing repeaters, because that was something I heard a whole lot today. Kind of concerning. I did notice later in the afternoon our winds did start to pick up, and that's definitely when the radio traffic got busier. When the winds were picking up, I think it was around like 2 or 3 they picked up for a little while. Had some gusts going, and that's when the radio started talking about, let's see, there was a spot fire near Myers Grade Road, and then the fire did jump a fire line. Where was that? Well, I'll come to it here in my notes at some point. So it made some progress, backwards progress, but for the most part, when I checked the hotspot map this morning, there were nowhere near as many as there were the day before. Again, no false optimism. I'm just going off what I saw, and there's links to a whole bunch of different things in the description. So if you want more information, what's up, Kevin? If you guys have any information that I haven't covered yet, please throw it in. I'm basically doing what I can to verify it's true information and throwing it in the comments, or not the comments, the description, so that people can utilize that. Like the Windy app is pretty handy. You could see the storm front coming in, but as it was coming in, you could see that it just kind of stayed off the coast. It never really came over us. Again, we got a little bit of rain, but for the most part, most of the action apparently, from what I saw and what I heard on the radio, it went over the ocean, which is perfect. So no additional fires. Well, we did have some from the wind, but not from the lightning, which is good. We did have a bunch of downgrades today. I have a little cheat sheet here, sorry. I don't have a teleprompter and I don't have them written on my hand. So, bunch of downgrades today, so that's kind of good. They went from mandatory to warnings, which meant that some people got to go back home. They're still under warning, which means they might have to go again, but at least they get to go home and check things out and take a shower, maybe shave. Let it talk, but I don't really care. You don't mind, do you? Right? You're gonna keep me anyway. I know I didn't even do my makeup. I'm terrible. The last little bit, it's mostly been static on here, but whatever. So I was watching, I think his name is James Gore. I have him on the link down below. He posts videos once or several times a day on Facebook about what's going on, little updates about where the fire's headed, and just general information. I find them to be really clear, concise, and short to the point. They're really easy, where some of these, like, I was just watching the Zoom meeting for Mendocino National Forest. A lot of good information, but it went on for a while. Depends on what you're looking for, though. They went into detail on everything. His are just kind of synopsis of everything. One of the things they were talking about was up at the Lake Sonoma. They're concerned that apparently the water that comes from there goes down a little ways, and then it's harvested and provides drinking water for 650,000 people. If we start to get too much of this ash and debris from the fires going down into the lake, it could contaminate it, and then we'd not only have the lake be, I don't know, something polluted or what have you, but not by toxins, but we'd have to filter the water a lot more, so that wouldn't be any part of good. So they're going to do their best to try to mitigate it with, I guess, erosion control and whatnot, and then also the fire retardant, try to keep it out, because from what I understand, I'll make that clear, it burned all the way down to the lake shore. So again, I shouldn't say again. I haven't said it on this one, but I've said it before. I don't work for any fire department, sheriff's department, or anything. I'm just a guy who right now is in a warning zone, so I haven't got much else to do but listen to the scanner and watch some links and make some videos for you. So by all means, trust but verify, right? Kevin, what'd you say? Yeah, I heard Anthony Peak got some good rain, but not enough. Yeah, I'm going to go over that fire up there here in a little bit. Well, fires is plural. I think they were saying 35. We'll go with 30. We'll just make it a round number, make it easy. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I just thought I'd go over some more notes. So later on in the evening, I think it was hypothetically around 5 or something, they were talking about CAL FIRE Air Command or Control or whatever. They spotted a drone over Calistoga at 4,000 feet AG or MSL, mean sea level. So that basically means above sea level, which let's just go with a hypothetical number. Let's say that Calistoga is 500 feet in elevation. That means that drone was 3,500 feet in the air. That's a long way. I'm a Part 107 holder. I'm allowed 400 feet AGL, which is above ground level. So wherever the drone took off, or wherever the drone is, 400 feet or less, so 399 feet. The only exemption from that is if I'm flying over a building, I'm allowed 400 feet above that building. But Calistoga, so let's go with even 1,000 feet, that still puts the drone at 3,000 feet in elevation. That's ridiculous. So they didn't call off the air attack, fortunately, but they did have to send the planes back at a higher altitude, so that takes them longer, burns more fuel, and they're less effective because somebody wanted some kind of shot. All my drones are, oh, and I forgot to have it ready. Well, all my drones are DJI Mavic 2s. And they're on lockdown. It's not even something I do. DJI locks them down. There's nothing I can do to hey, what's up, X Country and Chatteritics? Or sorry, I'm bad with names. Sorry. Hello, everybody. It's scary how long you think you're gonna stay there. You're in New Jersey. Oh, you're coming in from. Oh, they're coming in from New Jersey. Yeah, that's the new norm, right? Is that we have to ask for help every season. We're having to ask for help from all these different, not only states but countries. Like, this is mind-boggling. Like each year has gotten worse and worse. I thought the Tubbs fire was bad, and then we had the Kincaid fire last year. And I remember standing in a driveway with winds coming in so fast, I was leaning at almost a 45-degree angle with flames only a couple of miles away. It was traveling so fast I couldn't keep the roads closed fast enough. Granted, there were no embers and whatnot. I did my best to stay away, and I stayed out of the way and far away. You heard me open this right before I switch to this camera, but I realized it a bit late. I didn't get any before I started. Hope you don't mind. Some of those men and women up on those fire lines, I want to commend them. And they're putting in some crazy hours. I knew that they worked hard, but I had no idea. I heard CAL FIRE yesterday saying, guys, some people had worked 96 hours. That's unreal. I don't know what to say. I am forever grateful that you do your best to save and at least, let's say, manage the situation, because I understand that fire is a natural thing that needs to happen. I understand that, but maybe it can be managed and influenced so that there's some of it left for us to enjoy while the other portion recovers. You know, at this point, I do have the closure map open. I'm going to do my best to interpolate that, but it's a big chunk of the forest. For those of you that aren't very familiar with this channel, I mainly do dispersed camping style videos of Mendocino National Forest and Indian Valley Reservoir. But with what's going on, I thought I would kind of switch topics and try something different and live stream some links that I thought were important. There's a whole lot of stuff going around, rumors and whatnot, and let's see if we can narrow them down. But again, when CAL FIRE flies, we can't, or when we fly, CAL FIRE can't fly. So keep your drones grounded. They may be cool shots, but there's other ways to find them. It's not worth it. Hey, Joeo. Hey, how's it going? So when I was listening to the scanner, the wind was picking up, they were talking about and I think it was a St. Helena, a tree had caught fire. Just a single tree. Just a single tree. But it's amazing some of the information you can find out and kind of stay ahead of things. But let's this radio traffic's still mostly just static. They might have switched to channels. I found that there's a link to all the different frequencies that I've been primarily listening to in the description, which is quite a few. But I just basically changed stations. I am lucky enough to have 2 of them. I change frequencies until I find where there's traffic that's relevant to what I'm listening to, and then go for it. Or you can go to let's see, Broadcastify, and you can listen to, I think it's like 4 or 5 of them. The 4 or 5 most used channels, the REDCOM and the Fire and the Fire, let's see, Cal Fire and whatnot. It combines them all into one feed for you, basically. Several radio frequencies. They're all combined and just plays through a through a live stream. Pretty handy. Me, I like to narrow it down, and I don't know. There's just something about the radios. I just like them. And I never have to. I can actually, maybe it's because I can take them with me when I go make coffee. I can clip it on my belt. It's kind of hard to do that with a laptop. And your phone sounds weird when you shut it off and it's in your pocket. It kind of hard to, really hard to understand. So, yeah. Again, I'm still in a warning zone. So the next step is that you got advisory, you got warning, and then mandatory. And then, well, eventually you get this one, get out now. But by then you're supposed to already be out. We're packed. We're ready to go. Everything's in the truck. We already took a load down to Katati. It's sitting down there, and it may be all for nothing, but at least my stuff is going to be safe and I'll be able to return to work. So I have a couple of links to show off. Let's check them out here, and feel free to type in questions and I'll do what I can to News Station Utah. Hey, how's it going? Washington Country News Station Utah. Thanks for joining. Let's dive in. Let's see some of this. Let me show you some of the stuff that I've found before and some of the new stuff that I came across today. So here's the a link to this in the description. These are all hotspots and fires, and then also you can see lightning strikes. You can see there's quite a few of them, but it also shows you the size of the fire, where the hotspots are, and gives you an idea. Some of these fires though can be as much as hotspots. Some of them you have to check on the legend. It'll tell you they could be as much as 24 hours old. Let's see if this one says. No, this one doesn't say. It was one of the other ones that was telling me. Each hotspot actually had its date, the date and time it was documented on this map. Which one's this one? That might be the Cal Topo map, which I believe I have open here. If not, it's in the description. You can check out the link there. So I'm in Windsor, right here. This is my location. Little town, only 50,000 people. So here's the fire that's, to me, currently the biggest threat, if you will. This is causing the evacuation warning. The number of hotspots has gone down tremendously. Before, just like, what, 2 or 3 days ago, the whole perimeter was little dots of red. Now we've got lots of dots, small dots of red, and lots of, let's see, light orange, which I'm not really sure. Fire radiative power, the MN or MW. So Mike Whiskey, I'm not sure what those mean, but I do know that this is basically the perimeter of the fire, and that's a lot. But again, from my perspective, Healdsburg's perspective, and Geyserville, we've got the fire, or not the fire, we've got Russian River, and we've got most of this is grapes. Pretty much all of this is vineyards. So that fire has to jump all of that, which is completely possible. But with the winds we've been having, at mostly just like, I think this morning was 6 miles an hour with gusts at like 10, which you could barely even feel. It'll have a hard time because down in my area, down here, this is almost a mile wide, if not wider. Up in here, it's not nearly as mile wide, but it's still pretty wide. So fingers crossed we don't get any major storms, but I haven't heard any rumors of them. So if we pull up so this is the incident report map for Cal Fire, real easy to find. Just typed in Cal Fire incident report and this comes up. The LNU fire, which is the one that's closest to me, but the thing that I started hearing yesterday, or the comments I started hearing yesterday, was that these two fires are the same. They're labeled the LNU Lightning Complex fire, but they're fairly far apart, and some people are trying to say, well, I would love to know the unique distinction between this fire, which would be what, the Stewart fire, and the Walbridge fire. separate information from the Hennessey fire and the other ones that are part of the complex fire. I don't know all their names. I know one of them is the Hennessey fire. It would be nice to have them separated, because right now combined we're at 351,817 acres, and we've gone up to 25% containment, and that's as of 7:47 p.m. That's great, 25% containment, but that's both of them. To be honest, this one's not what scares me right now. Unless we have some huge storm come in, this one doesn't scare me. So let's see here. We go back to the hotspot map. That was, no, that's windy. Did I close it? No, I didn't. Okay. So you can see from this link all the different hotspots. You want to zoom in, zoom out, see the different fire names. Or 15.1, 15.3. There's a whole lot. The other day we had some pop up in Marin. That might be this one here by the College of Marin. So what happens, because I don't know much about fire behavior and how this works. It's not what I'm trained to do. The other day we had these fires start up in Marin County. I think we had 2 of them. I thought, well, that's really weird. This is like several days after the event, the electrical storm on the last Sunday, just over a week ago. How did these fires start? Is there some sort of lightning or some sort of firebug just taking advantage of the lightning storm? No, what happens is that the lightning strikes and the fire can sit there and smolder for sometimes hours, sometimes days. In a worst case scenario, days or I guess months. Excuse me. However long it takes for the conditions to be right to get it to ignite into a fire. We've all heard about these like primitive times where you would build a fire and then take a little piece of coal and put it in some sort of bedding, wrap it up, and you could take it with you. When you got to your destination, you could open it up, blow on it, and the coal would ignite the bedding it's been in, and you've got fire again. So you didn't have to, spark rocks and all this other stuff. Lightning fire is the second biggest. Which lightning fire? I hope you guys get the rainstorm we got yesterday. We had, Washington country, we got, the ground was wet here at 2 a.m. last night, but not very. Just a light, we'd call it dusting. And then this morning at about 4, I could hear it just ever so slightly hitting the metal roof outside. Ever so slightly. Unfortunately, again, like I was saying, the storm, well, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, because it's good that it stayed off over the ocean, because it kept the lightning out over there, but we didn't get any rain that could have been associated with that storm front. But again, it's things are looking pretty good for these guys being being pushed so hard, worked so hard, and not being provided the resources they truly need to effectively fight this fire. They're kicking some ass. Like seriously, these guys are doing fantastic work. I don't know a whole lot about these fires down here. My brother is directly affected by this one down here, the CZU, the Charlie Zulu uniform complex fires. He's lives in anyway. He's up in Pacifica, we're staying with his mom right now, and that might be where I end up, is with my mom. We have separate moms, same guy. Don't know where I'm gonna go. I know that's terrible. I'm supposed to have all these things. I mean, I got all my stuff packed. I should at least know where I'm gonna go, but I don't. So, anyway, another person with loud exhaust. The LNU fire. Yeah, the LNU. So Lincoln November uniform. That fire is massive. I think we just said it's 351,817 acres. SCU, 347,196, 10%. And this doesn't even include all the fires that are burning in the Mendocino National Forest and the wilderness area, which I'm going to go over here in a little bit. These don't cover that, because those are dealt with by the Forest Service, not Cal Fire. So those fires, like the Doe fire, that's, oh my god, it's huge. It's not on this list. Yeah, see, it's been mostly traffic. They must have, they must have changed stations when I wasn't looking. It's okay, I got the little tidbits today about the guy flying the drone. And So it made me. I was able to provide that piece of information to you. But I'm gonna switch this off because right now it's distracting. I've talked about this app before. It's free to download on your phone. You can use it for free, or you can pay money. I chose not to pay money. I don't use it often enough to justify paying money. I'm only gonna turn my Alexa off. I don't know why it's spinning, but I don't want you to make a noise. Be quiet. Okay. Right now our winds are pretty much no. It's here. We at the right time. Yeah, it's pretty much no. So that's a great thing. You can see those. What is there is blowing slightly northeast. That's good. Again, I'm here in Windsor. This is my hometown. Healdsburg. I used to live out in here in Mill Creek. Apparently that just got it. Yeah, it looks like a war zone. I forget what the guy James Gorse said, but it is not pretty. The fire there was so much fuel load. They said it's been since the 50s that they had a fire in there, and it was it's all forest in here. You're talking pine trees, redwood trees, you got manzanitas, you got madrone, or not manzanitas, not a tree, madrones, oaks. It's all in there. Granted, little patches, like you won't find as many oaks where there's a bunch of redwoods because it's awful moist in there. But yeah, the winds, we've been blessed with these winds. Like, the fires are terrible. There's a whole lot of them, but could you imagine what would have happened if we'd had that lightning storm at the same time we had the winds that we did for the Kincaid fire? California would be done. That was one fire that started in one spot, and look how far it traveled in one night. Now, think about the Tubbs fire. Same situation. Started in Napa. Same night, it was burning into Santa Rosa. The northeastern, or got all the way out to the northwest side. I was helping rebuild a house over in Coffey Park. That's a long way. So I'm at a loss for words. I'm not used to talking about fires, but again, we had a bunch of evacuations downgraded to warnings, which is fantastic. The hotspot map doesn't look nearly as intimidating as it used to. So those are all good things. Yeah, at this point, I want to take one moment to remind you that if you are into my channel's generally general focus is dispersed camping and discovering new places to visit, to see, to explore, to camp in the Mendocino National Forest and the Indian Valley Reservoir primarily, but not only. I'm open to pretty much anything. If you're into that kind of stuff, please hit the subscribe button. Well, check out a few of my videos first. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Like a few of the videos, maybe give me a like. I do offer all of my pins on Patreon, so if you ever want to know every single place I've ever camped, every place I've ever flown the drone to do dronies or to document a rock outcropping, know where the nearest hospitals are from when you're camping, dispersed campsites with notes. Some of them even have links to the video that I have of that campsite, so you can see what it looks like before you even go. Check out my Patreon. They're all for sale. I do post outtakes and bloopers and whatnot. I post some of them to YouTube, but not nearly as many as I post to Patreon. So if you want to see my videos and the outtakes and whatnot, please consider supporting the channel. What I've done today in the last few hours of doing this research and the other live streams I've done is on my time. I do not get paid from YouTube. I am not sponsored by anybody except for the few Patreons that you saw in the credits in the beginning of this video. So some of them pay a couple dollars a month, some of them even buy my pins, so they are paying more money per month. Every little bit helps. The more I get, the more pins I can introduce more often, the more places I can make videos to, or the more often I can make videos to give you locations to go camping, which do include campgrounds within the Mendocino National Forest, but again, the emphasis is more on dispersed camping. So with that out of the way, let's move on to the National Forest a little bit. So you got two good resources, one being the Mendocino National Forest website, but then also their Facebook page. They're both really good. Generally speaking, I check the Facebook page pretty often. I'm a pretty active user on Facebook, so I'm already on there. So this is on the Facebook page. They talk about, this is a report similar to what CAL FIRE is going to show you. Habitable structures destroyed 10, containment 11, incident report time. You get a description, the number of acres. It'll tell you the Doe Fire, 153,083 acres. That's a lot. Thalma Fire, 7,958. That's not quite as impressive, but it's still big. Glade, Hopkins, they're all here. Cooperating agencies, it's all going to be here. So if you want to see something similar to what you'd see from the CAL FIRE incident report, you go to, the easiest way for me to find it is through their Facebook page. That's how I found it. Forest Closure, I found that through their website. They do have it on their Facebook page, but I found it much easier to get at their the closure on their website. Sorry, Stumbleina. Here's their map of the burn area. It's kind of hard to make out though, but this is a huge area. So you got Willows and Orland, and if you compare those distances, look, it's even bigger. And if you look down the forest, it's almost right down the middle. So we're looking at a massive chunk that's going to be closed, for lack of a better word, indefinitely. They tonight said they don't know. They said months. Months. They didn't repeat the months. I did that, just for emphasis. They said it's going to be closed for a long time. The only exception is going to be to residents who apply for a special waiver or permit to get into their places, because there are people that live in there. But look at this Doe Fire, 100. In here it says 143,950 or 143,095 acres, as if I forgot how to tell numbers. This problem with this map to me is it's hard to read. I know where Smith Camp is. I get that part. I know where some of these places are, but I don't know where enough of them are to really make out what's what. Plus, some of them are kind of hard to read. But they were talking about these ones up here in the wilderness area as basically they had some hot shots in there for a while, but they kind of took them out. Now they're just kind of monitoring it, and they're focusing their attention, again, from what I understand, in this area here, there's some sort of buildings and whatnot. They're going to focus attention in here. And I'm not watching the chat. I'm terrible. Second biggest, sorry. The LSU you showed. Yeah, the LSU is... Yeah, or LNU, yeah. This is massive, and it's going to be a long time. The forest closure we'll go over here in just a minute, but yeah, I think it's kind of sad. Like we don't have the resources to do anything in there. I don't blame anybody. I'm not faulting anybody. I'm not talking down about anybody. It's just disheartening. It's saddening. That's the only reason I'm saying it. Again, I think I've mentioned it before. I am just incredibly grateful that I have the advantage that I have terabytes and terabytes of video footage from up in that area. The eastern half of the Mendocino. Well, actually, no. Starting from M1 on the FH7, the whole way east, and then the M1 from Pillsbury, almost all, well, at least to Rattlesnake Creek. I've got that all on video from the drone and my different action cameras and the DSLR. I've got all of them. So I'm glad that happens. Again, I know that fire is a natural part of this ecosystem, but it still sucks. I was just starting to get into that area and learn that area and know that area. And again, I'm out of spring water. I'm talking to you with tap water. Tap water. I don't know if that much you understand how much I dislike tap water. I've felt spoiled for so long now, because after I found that spring, every time we've gone, we've just made sure to bring home enough to last. But now, all of, from what I understand, from M1, Forest Highway's closed all the way east. That means, and guess what's about in the middle? Spring water. Yeah, I'm also drinking a soda, but this is better for effect. It's more dramatic. Sorry. I just had to say that. Johnson's showing me hand sanitizer. Should I sanitize my hands? I don't have anybody to social distance in here. I'm actually all alone in this room. I got the whole place to myself. It's party time! No, I'm just kidding. So, screen share. Let's go back. There. Need some, like... No, I don't need a sound effect. I'm still learning the OBS thing, so forgive me. So what else we got here? I opened up okay, so we opened up... I went on the Mendocino National Forest website, and I found... I think it's better if I do this. No, not better if I do that. That's not going to work. Found the closure order. If you go back here, let's start from the beginning. I'll make this real easy for you. We'll go back to, homepage. Personally, I like going sitemap. That's my first place I start. I find it easier to navigate from there. From there, depending on what I'm doing, I was starting to think about getting a what's it called? A use permit to go harvest elderberries up in the Mendocino National Forest. But from what I see on the perimeter burns, most of the places I was going, I don't think are there anymore. So this would be where I came for that, or a fire permit. Right now I'm going to go camping in cabins. Oh, there we go. So we got August Complex Area Closure. We'll click the link. Okay, August Complex Area Closure. We've got the PDF right here, Exhibit A. Not sure why it kicks it off to the side, makes it hard for everybody to see. See if I can zoom in, hope it stays on the screen. Oh, the water, yeah. I'm not getting water for a while, Johnson. I'm stuck drinking this tap water. Oh, I love the taste of whatever that is, chlorine. So this is kind of a pain to interpolate, to digest, to understand, to make out, to figure out. Fortunately, I know some of these, but I don't really know where trail number 9W32 is. The W makes me think it's in the wilderness area. Because I believe the W is for the wilderness area, which are all, no motorized vehicles. Anyway, I have the gist of some of the area. Again, I don't work for any of these entities, so if you're going in there, actually, I wouldn't go in at all. As somebody, I just got notified today I'm at 200 videos on YouTube, and most of them are about the Mendocino National Forest. There is probably nobody else in my vicinity that wants to get out there more and start videotaping than myself. I've done a lot. I love that place. I've been out there. I was out there 2 weeks ago, and I had plans to go out there this weekend. That's not happening now, though. I would beg you to just stay out, stay away, let them do their job, let things calm down, and then once the dust settles, let's see what happens. Because maybe they'll open the closures up a little bit more. Because right now the closure is bigger than the actual fire. They're not going to let us to the fire line. So maybe after a while they'll let us closer in. So I know it sucks because a lot of people want to go deer hunting, but that's out of the question at this point. Not going to happen. Although I guess you could go in places that are not in this closure. But let's see if we can pull up the map. I thought I had them out. Here it is. So I'm going to give you the gist of what I understand of how I interpret this as how it is, and then you can the link to this is in the description. You can read it yourself and do the research to make sure where you're going is okay, because some people did get caught in there, and I don't know if they got in trouble, but it's definitely takes people off the line from doing their jobs when they could be doing something more effective, like saving the forest or saving parts of the forest. Again, I know parts of it have to burn. So let's see here, where are we? Because they're talking about the M10 to where it meets the M3. I should have left this zoomed in. There's the M10. So M10 all the way over to the M3. So I'll zoom out. So that's basically, let's say, the bottom edge of Stony Ford Lake all the way across to where it hits the M3, which is right about in here. And then you're going to go north up to the M6, where the M6 meets the Juice Bronx. The fire's chilled out recently. I'm in northwest San Rosa. Yeah, it's chilled out a whole lot. I'm up in Windsor. It's been a lot calmer. We were just talking about, you need a press pass, Dylan. Yeah, that's a good idea, X-Country. Uh-oh. Now the computer's running out of battery. I thought it was plugged in. Technical difficulties. Oh, I can unplug the dot and plug in the laptop. This is when I'm supposed to play one of those be right back things. No, I'm just kidding. Forget that. What's up with Guerneville? Guerneville's looking better. From my understanding, Guerneville's looking a lot here. We can go back if you guys want, since we've got a couple locals on here. If you look at the hotspot map, it's still a fair ways from Guerneville. And when you look at the hotspot map, they're not actually bright red. They're more orange. So that's even less of a threat. Granted, at any time, if we could have the winds could pick up and everything could completely change. This fire could go north, south, east, west, or northeast, or north-northeast. We don't know. So until it's all the way out and 100% contained, we're all still under, on pins and needles. But from my understanding, is some more evacuation notices got lifted down here. to allow people back in there, but you're still under warning. But up here where I'm at, I'm still technically under warning also, and most of Healdsburg's under warning also. I believe it's, let's see, where's the website? I'll figure it out. I think I have a link in the description. It's like Sonoma County. There's a Sonoma County link where you can find all the closure orders and the maps and whatnot, because it's good to know the map in your zone. In the beginning, they were giving out zone numbers, and you look at the map, we couldn't figure out what Windsor was. We didn't realize it's actually the town of Windsor. And then as the fire got closer, then that's when they started to break the town down into different sections. And of course, the first one to be issued is the one little triangle in the northeast corner. I happen to be in the middle of it, so is what it is. But yeah, it's looking a lot better for all of us over here in Guerneville. It's looking a lot better for all of us, except for the Mendocino National Forest. So we were just up in there talking about the closures. So we're looking at going. There is a fire up. If you look at the map, up near Whole Mountain. Yes, the red flag warning expired at 5 p.m. And so the analogy I heard from online yesterday was that we are to advise to, from now on, think of a red flag warning as a tornado warning. It's just a warning that one might pop up. Well, the red flag warning is basically a fire might pop up, so same sort of thing. So if we get the warning, that means we're supposed to have our go bag at least by the front door. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a, like, I don't know, I guess I underestimated how significant it really was. I didn't know that, but welcome to the new norm, right? 2020. So anyway, there's a fire burning up at Whole Mountain. So they're saying M1. Let's see here. M10 to M3, Copper Butte, Eel River, north to those trails, the Forest Road M6 to where it intersects with M1. That would be where there's that hard, like 270-degree turn going up the M1, and if you go straight, you go down the M6 and into the game refuge. That's that intersection. Up the M1, and as far as I know, it's pretty much the entire run of the M1 all the way up into the wilderness. And there's some more, like I said, there's more stuff in here. I didn't have time before this show to look up every pin dot to show you the exact area, but it's, we'll go back to the map. It's big, because the fires are up in here. So if you're looking at the M10, it's down around in here. You got the M3, the M6, to the M1, all the way up to Yalabali Wilderness, and then across east to the Forest Service boundary. That's the gist of what's closed. Look how big that area that is. That is huge. Zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Trying to see what works. So if you think about it, where I was before, I went into the forest up in here like 2 weeks ago, but all of this is closed. I'm just going to stay out. Again, it's not worth getting in their way. It's not worth getting trapped. If you're out in this, sure, this portion isn't closed, but if you're out on these dirt roads over in here and the wind picks up, because this is all a huge valley, this Eel River, like, I don't think it's called the Eel River Valley, but if you get caught in there during a big windstorm, whoo, we're talking about some steep cliffs, big canyon, excuse me, a lot of winds, not pretty. So I'm just going to stay out of the way for a while. Maybe I can find somebody who knows about press passes that maybe can shoot me a tidbit of how to figure that out. I'm sure I can Google it too, but you know, sometimes we get lazy. No, I don't know. Again, going for dramatic effect. So things are looking better in my opinion. I don't, you know, maybe again it's false optimism. That's the forest. Let's see. Again, we've got the lightning. Maybe it's false. You know, false of me to feel so good, but I think that these guys are doing really good despite the circumstances and the cards they were dealt. This again is the one that's next to me. I'm in Windsor. I'm in this little triangle that's under a warning. All of this is under warning also. And part of Healdsburg is also, I think most of Healdsburg is under warning also. But if you look at the hotspots, they've definitely died down in the last 24 hours. The containment's gone up, what, we're at 20, so 10% since yesterday. Yesterday was 15%. And as far as I know, I haven't checked the weather in a while actually. It wasn't until this afternoon. And when I was checking the weather earlier, I was doing it by the hour, not by the day. So I don't even know what the weather forecast is as I talk to you here. Again, thank you for joining. Once this is over, if you find that you like my style and I look handsome, then check out some of my videos. If you like them, please hit the subscribe button. If you find them entertaining. If you don't, then I totally get it. Just stay for the night. It's all good. You can use me this one time. So I see 0% rain here for us in Sonoma County. Oh, 5% Monday the 7th. That's a little ways out. But, whoops, our temperatures are nowhere near what they were. My top temperature I'm seeing is 90 within my crystal ball. I call this my crystal ball because you're trying to look into the future, but you can't really because it's, you know, I don't know. It's all statistics, right? So, at any rate, let's see if we can go back to where I can see what's going on. There you go. Okay, there we go. See, hit the like, subscribe, and the bell only if you care. You guys here that are local, you know anybody that's been affected by this? That would be a question that I have. Also, I'd be curious about where you're getting your news from. Two places that I found to be pretty handy. Let's see, KCBS out of San Francisco is pretty good, but they also do the national news and they also do a lot of Bay Area news. And we're in the Bay Area, sorta. We're in the greater Bay Area, more like. So they're good. KSRO is really good when they're reporting. I've been finding that, let's see, yesterday, the day before, I think it was Sunday, I was disappointed because they basically were talking about cooking all day long. And I really wanted to know about fire updates, and they're always the one touting as being the ones that have lots of good information and you can count on us. And I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened, but they're not as good. Let's see, yesterday, after I think it was a press conference, Cal Fire press conference, they were on live for pretty much the rest of the day. Doing news, they would talk to the National Weather Service every hour as the storm front was coming in. So they were giving us updates about what time they thought it would be here. They had the incident commanders on, fire chiefs on. They were interviewing lots of good people. It was fantastic. And then when the evening came, they went back to some sort of talking about magnesium in your diet. Thanks, X-Country. I appreciate it. I do my best. I put all my little feelers out there. And some people feed me tidbits, but not all of them. And some of them some of them lead me down rabbit holes that get me information even more, and some of them lead me nowhere. And some of them I just like, no, I don't trust it or don't like it. So, flattered that you guys have joined me so much this last week. I did not go on last night because it was Sunday and I needed to catch up on personal things, but watch time is through the roof. Subscribers are going way up, and I am definitely grateful of that kind of stuff. It brings my search standings up. I really appreciate it, and to the fact that you guys are also writing me with positive comments is flattering. It makes my day, and that's what currently gives me my payment, if you will, my motivation to continue taking my time to find these links and put them up on and do this live stream and all the research I do and taking notes on all the stuff I hear on the scanner is those positive remarks, and then people engaging with me during the live stream to know that I'm not just talking to open air and nobody, because really I'm talking to myself. What I look at right now is I'm pointing at myself, but in reality I'm talking to you guys. So I appreciate it, knowing there's people that actually it shows me that what I'm doing is for the better and for the good, and I'll take that as payment. Again, if you guys that are close to me, you asked about Guerneville, and then let's see, the red flag warding in Santa Rosa. Again, I'd love to know if you are local and what you've seen and where you get your news, because a lot of what I get is from the scanner. I find it to be pretty accurate too, and it's also a lot of fun to listen to the guys in the air. I did put in the link. I'm not talking about it tonight because I don't know where they are and what they're doing, and I didn't track it at all today, but you can track that super tanker live in real time. I put a link to that in there also if you want to find them. Somebody, I think it was the first time yesterday, was saying that they think that we should make the super tanker our state bird. It's almost the new norm. Look at I found somebody posted a link. Maybe I'll see if I can find it later. A time lapse starting from like 1910 or 20 of all the fires per year, and they went year by year, and it goes by pretty quickly, all the way up to currently. And it's like, oh man, like that's crazy. How many the fires and the intensity, the quantity, how much burns. It's pretty impressive. So, yeah, it's unprecedented time. We've got this COVID thing. So the other thing I hear is that we can't use let's see, what am I saying? Starting over again here. We can't use the prisoners because of COVID. We pay them very little, which is a whole other topic, but we can't use them. So again, we have less staff on these fires than normal. Also, the other thing that I'm still trying to figure out how to make it work is there has got to be some way that civilians can get involved. Let's say Part 107 holders can get involved with some sort of training, because there's people like me that would just suck up the training. I'll take all of it. That we can use our drones. I have a Mavic 2 Enterprise with a dual camera, so a thermal camera and an RGB camera with ADS-B2. So I know where other aircraft are. They know where I am. Why can't we be used? Like yesterday, they couldn't fly for a little while, Cal Fire, because of visibility. When they're not in the air, why can't we use the drones? I don't know. I mean, I understand that civilians are a hazard and they're more of a liability than an asset on the fire line. I get it. Don't send me there. If I'm not valuable there, I don't want to be there. But there has to be some way that we can volunteer or become a permanent member, or heck, even being used to help train people, firefighters, how to pass their Part 107. Maybe how to help the fire departments choose what drones to buy. Once they get them, learn how to fly them. I mean, there's got to be ways that we can be used, because here I am. I mean, granted, I don't really want to go because I'm in a warning zone, and if I'm way up somewhere far away and they issue a mandatory evacuation, I'm not here to tow my tiny house away, and that's no part of good. But somehow there has to be a way to make these things work. I'm sure from my end I could figure it out so that I could be up there. If I was allowed to be up there and needed to be up there, I would do it. But right now, I as soon as you mention the word drone, oh god, taboo. No. You're one of those people that fly in front of airplanes and you do stupid stuff, and you're the one. No. Like, hold on, calm down. Like, there has to be some way. Let's take drones out of this equation. There has to be a way for civilians to help, say, haul hoses, haul trailers of water. There's a rental yard up the road that has like a 500 or 1,000 gallon towable trailer water tank. I'll pull that. Tell me where to drop it off, and then I'll drop it off on the a couple of miles from the fire front. Those guys can come pick it up, and they don't have to do the whole drive. Or I can deliver a bunch of fire hoses. Heck, I can deliver pallets of water. But everybody's there's no plan in place for this. I'll spend my own money. I'll put up a whole tank of gas, $150. I'll donate a whole day of my time, and that's just me. I'm willing to. I'll go up there with my drone. I'll go up there with my truck. I'll leave the drone at home. I don't care. I just want to help. But I don't know how. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm venting. But you're all still here, so I'm not alone, right? So, there are frequencies in the description that if you're using a scanner, you can find out what I've been listening to and then some. I do, if you're near the National Forest, I have the frequencies that they use to talk. One thing I would say with all of those scanning and listening though, when I have my radios on, this one's off right now, I set the power to low when I'm listening to something that you're not allowed to broadcast on. So the Mendocino National Forest, Police Department, Cal Fire, Air Traffic Control, you're not supposed to talk on them. So I turn the power all the way down on this so that hypothetically I do key the mic on accident. It only goes like down the street and I don't actually interfere with anybody. Granted, excuse me, bubbly water. Granted, an airplane that's above me, line of sight, they're probably going to hear it, but it's just a key of a mic. Excuse me, to be over with pretty quickly. So again, turn your power all the way down so that if it does accidentally happen, or press the lock button, you don't send out a signal and distract people or interrupt a transmission that could be vital. Like, hey, there's a drone in the air at 4,000 feet MSL. I still, yeah, I know I'm going back to that topic, but I'm just flattered that, I'm floored that someone went when there was a TFR and flew to that high. That's a long way up. Again, if you're not familiar with heights and ceilings, 4,000 feet MSL is mean sea level. So let's say that Calistoga is 500 feet. That means that drone was 3,500 feet in the air. That's a long way. Let's make it even easier. Let's say that Calistoga is 1,000 feet. That drone was 3,000 feet in the air. As a Part 107 holder, I'm allowed 400 feet. 400 feet above ground level. So from wherever the drone is, down 399 feet. Not where it took off from, where it is. If I fly over a radio tower, I can fly 400 feet above that radio tower. So said tower is 3,000 feet, I can go to 3,400 or 3,399 feet legally with the Part 107. But not with the TFR. I wonder, it makes me wonder what this person was flying. Because my DJIs, none of them, they're all grounded because DJI shut them down. And I guess the one way I could get around it would be to take it way out where I had no cell coverage. It probably would take off because it wouldn't be able to check for TFRs and whatnot. But here at home, because I have Wi-Fi at my house and because I have cell phone coverage where I go, even when I use the Crystal Sky, I turn on Wi-Fi so that I can communicate, or the Crystal Sky can check for updates and whatnot. It knows there's a TFR, which is a good thing. I don't want to be that guy that's flying when you're not supposed to be. So again, the forest is, let's just consider the forest off limits for right now. We're grounded. We're not allowed to fly. We're being punished. So yeah, we're grounded. Just gonna go with that. Yeah, it's unprecedented times. It'll be curious to see what happens in the next week. And what a lot of people are also reminding us is that we're not even into September and October. Those are the months when it gets really bad. That's when it's still hot and dry, and we get the bigger, higher winds. So, and we've burned almost as much as we did just in the complex fire, or the Mendocino complex fire. I used to call it the complex fire because we just had the one. Now we've got several of them. So, finally starting to get their names down though. Before it was pretty easy. You'd be like, oh yeah, the Valley Fire. That was that one year. Tubbs Fire was over there. Kincaid Fire. You know, I mean, we've had more. Don't get me wrong, but those ones were pretty easy to stick with me. So. Yeah, it's going to be interesting times. Fortunately, the wind's supposed to stay mellow. Again, I'm still under only a warning evacuation level, so I don't have to go. I just need to keep my stuff packed. They recommend, though, that in a warning zone, that if you... it is slightly recommended that you leave, but if you feel even remotely nervous, you're supposed to just go. That's what they encourage you to do. Also, because that way, when it is mandatory, it doesn't turn into this flood of people. During the Kincaid fire, they went up and down with the high-low sirens, right up and down our street and the street on the other side of the freeway. It's an eerie sound. If you've never heard of high-low sirens, when there's smoke in the air and the ground is yellow from the smoke with the sun coming through it, it's really creepy. And then you get on the freeway, or you try to get on the freeway, and everybody's fighting to get on, and the freeway's not even moving but 2 miles an hour. It's like Armageddon. It sucks. Like, it's real bad. And so if we do get mandatory, I'm not going to be the first one out of town, I'll tell you that. Like, unless the fire's beating down my door, but even still, not going to do any good. You know, we heard stories of people in the Tubbs fire over in Coffey Park. It came so fast they were driving up on sidewalks and lawns and stuff to try to get around these other cars because it was gridlock. Like, that's scary. I don't want to go through that, but I also don't want to sit in the traffic. So I'm going to time it the best I can. With that said, I've been here for about an hour, so I'm going to call it quits. I thank you for coming and joining me tonight. I will do my best to be on as often as I can to share information. I feel that I can take a lot of peace of mind right now that things seem to be calming down. The wind is calm. In my area, I don't really, actually, I don't smell any smoke. I've got the windows wide open too, and I can see the curtain blowing. So I have a breeze going through here. I don't smell it at all. So again, if you find this information useful, please give it a like. If you like my personality and think I'm boring as hell, please check out my other videos. Maybe you'll hate those too. If you hate them as much as I do, hit the subscribe button. No, I'm just kidding. If you like them, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when there's more out. Things are picking up around here. We're doing a lot more to edit more videos, longer videos, better videos, more edits, more cameras, better audio, better gear, more time editing, more story. It's only getting better. If I can report some good news, that would be it. That things are going to get better around here. So please check things out. Lots of links down in the description. Check them all out. If you have any other questions, again, I am no expert. I'm no authority. I'm just a guy that really enjoys keeping track of what's going on. A techie that loves listening to little radios here with the little wang-fangle antennas. That's me. I like those things. You can find me on Facebook, Bluebeard Adventures. Kind of hard to remember, Bluebeard Adventures. Maybe you can remember it. I don't know. Someday I'll file it as a trademark. I don't know how, but maybe. So anyway, I'm going to hit this outro button. I'll still be here for a couple of more minutes while I kind of wrap things up. If you got any other questions, if y'all want to say goodbye to each other and, you know, fist bumps and whatnot in the digital version, that'll still be going here for a few minutes while we go through the outro. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.